man, got a lot to talk about. Once again, welcome to the Keeper Chronicles. This is our 11th episode, but we are covering week 10. I have with me, of course, your favorite, my brother, our champion, who's not looking so champion-like these days. It is, of course, Jacob Ambrose.
Hey guys, I am so excited for the day where I'm not the guest and you're going to be introducing, we're joined with, everyone's going to be surprised.
I did talk to Benton, put the invitation out there today. Not able today. What day did he say? Not next week either.
Not next week.
So the invitation is open. Maybe I'll work something out with Ross eventually. Maybe even Boompa. That would be hilarious to have Boompa on this thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So just as an introductory thought, I was in the shower the other day, just, having a shower thought. And I was thinking about player names and how you refer to NFL players. And this is just sounding stupid as I'm saying it. Some NFL players are definitely last name guys. You refer to them by their last name. I'm thinking you've got Njoku, you've got
You're really doing great at this.
well, hey, you can help me come up with them.
Jefferson, no,
He's more like JJ. He's like a nickname guy. Some guys are last name guys. I'm really struggling to come up with them right now.
Darisaw.
Yeah, Darisaw. Okay, mostly honestly linemen, but Questenberry, right?
Yeah.
Some are last name guys. Some are first name guys. And then some are you always use both name guys. And I think it comes down to really the uniqueness of the name, right?
Where does Mahomes, is he first, last, or just last?
Mahomes, I would say most often is referred to as a last name guy.
Okay.
Now, obviously, if you say the name recognition is probably greater with Patrick Mahomes, but Mahomes, I think most of the commentators, and when you're talking, if I'm talking who do you have as your quarterback on your fantasy? Oh, I've got Mahomes.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by
announcers,
that's the metric.
Announcers mainly use last names.
That's true.
You go watch the Ravens game last week, it was Jackson.
It
wasn't
but Lamar is a first name guy.
For sure.
So and I think this is the metric I'm going to use. This is the test, right? You tell me who's on your fantasy team. Who do you have at quarterback? Oh, I've got Lamar.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who you're talking about. He's a first name guy. Oh, I've got Brock Purdy. He's a both name guy.
Okay.
What
about Burrow?
Joe Burrow's a both name guy, I believe.
Okay.
And so it's just, I don't know. It's a really stupid thought just to get us started today.
Shower thoughts
with Luke. Lamar was. It was actually Lamar because I was thinking about the way that they were talking about him during the game, and they called him Jackson. I was like, that's really weird because I think of him as Lamar.
And I believe if you were to play Madden, it's always last name, correct?
I don't know.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay. Interesting.
That's
enough.
That's enough out of that.
That's enough out of that.
That's all that was really.
Okay.
But think about it. Maybe drop a comment. Maybe drop a snide remark about who your first name guys or your last name guys are.
Or not.
Okay. Well, or not. Thanks, Jacob, for shooting that down. Let's recap week 10.
All right. You want to start out with my favorite team in the league, Cheese Whiz?
Yeah. He took on David, the rebrand Revenge, this week.
Yeah. And Cheese Whiz gets the revenge for the emotional bye week. Now, I'm obviously not in a family text message or a brother text message with Mark and David.
Right.
Was anything said this week? Anything about this emotional bye week? I'm hoping that Mark took it as an emotional bye week.
There was nothing said about it.
Okay.
And I haven't even heard any smack from the Cheese Whiz about it.
He's a humble winner.
And here's the deal. All of the Miltimore men in our league were too busy on Monday going around skid it's Veterans Day, so they were going around getting all their free food. David's stopping by Olive Garden, DQ, Smoothie King, Little Caesars,
but
B-Dubs.
We thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Yes,
you guys. It sounds like maybe Luke is a little jealous.
I'm not jealous. I'm just saying.
It sounds like Luke wishes he could join you on this journey across all towns that you guys are living on.
There's always the option of stolen valor.
Okay.
Just kidding. I'm pretty sure they check your ID anyway.
Yeah. I mean, do you have any comments other than
on this matchup? Yes,
Yeah.
of course. David versus Mark. Of course, I've got Mark's winning strategy continues just to be play Lamar,
and it works?
and it works.
I mean, it was Lamar and Calvin Ridley, and you could say Hawk. Those are the only 3 players on his team that scored over 15 points.
Right.
And he wins. Because Lamar really is such a cheat code.
Yeah, and I look at David's team. I'm like, there's nothing really I'd be mad about if I were David, other than maybe Kirk Cousins. Like, you got 22 out of Connor, 14 out of Taylor, Drake London 17, Puka 18. Like, these are good.
All of these guys are hitting they're probably hitting their projection or close to. So it's nothing to be mad at. I mean, Young Ho, 2 points out of the kicker always sucks. You can't do anything about it. It's such a toss-up of what your kicker is going to give you. So,
yeah, David went going with Kirk Cousins for the bye week of Jordan Love. I mean, he played actually Kirk Cousins last week, didn't he? Or the week before?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Kirk Cousins is his new guy, but yeah, I wouldn't be mad about seeing my team perform that way, but I would be mad about losing.
Well, 118, it's
not good enough.
It's not good enough in an 8-man league.
And honestly, David's team, if you think about it, has really seen some ups and downs.
It has.
Got most of his 4 wins early on.
No. It was. Oh yeah. It was because I beat him that first week. Then he had a couple lucky wins. And
injuries
now he's
have hurt him. Puka really hurt him.
Yep. And now this is technically an unlucky loss for David. He
really?
barely scored in the top 4.
118 was in the top 4 this week?
118 is in the top 4 by
Holy
less
cow,
than a point.
that's a preview for what we've got. I didn't even notice that. That is...
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Yep.
Anyway, well, Jacob's pleased. The Wiz wins again and is continuing to just get momentum.
I'm telling you, the Wiz has a good team.
He's a playoff contender for sure.
Oh, yeah. He's actually...
79% in the...
I believe so. I was looking at ESPN's playoff percentage predictions, which I wouldn't put too
Ross
much.
is at a 99.
Ross, I feel like, is our only secured spot, but we'll keep moving forward.
Let's talk about, the big matchup of the week was really the Contenders versus the Boom.
The top dog fight, which I think most of us said it was over Thursday night.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Jamar Chase getting the 55 points, that's going to be hard to overcome. And you still know that Ross has Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, who always manage to throw 2 pretty good performances. Saquon fell a little flat this week, but Jalen still got 30 points.
Most of Ross's team fell flat. He had one other guy over 20 points, and the rest were actually under 16 even.
Yeah.
The highest, so it went Jamar with 55, Jalen Hurts with nearly 30, and then A.J. Brown was his next at 15.9, and it drops to 12.1 after that, 11, 8, 8, 3. Like, not even remotely respectable, and he's still...
Obviously, when the opposing team has a guy that scores 55, it's hard to think you even have a shot. It really stinks to have your defense score 20 points and lose, though.
Oh, totally. Kicker scored 12 as well for Boompa.
Yeah, Boompa had a couple of, boom weeks from defense and kicker, and to have it kind of go to waste. It's not like he had some poor performances in some other spots, but
his big boom guys, Derrick Henry and CeeDee. I mean, amazing that Derrick Henry did not get more points in that game, but it was all in the air, wasn't it?
It was a very pass heavy game, especially that second half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Boompa, I'm waiting for you to offer me a trade for CeeDee. He's not really panning out for you here.
You know, I've been trying to get Tyreek from Sam, and somehow he keeps saying no to that too.
That's an interesting choice. Regarding both these teams, okay, so I see Ross's team is trending steady.
Yes.
Very hot, good. Boompa, I feel like his team is definitely trending down, especially with the Dak injury.
No. He dropped Dak. He's always been Josh.
But CeeDee. CeeDee's
yes.
injury, and now he has Cooper Rush throwing to him.
Yes, but
Like-
I believe Nico Collins comes back this week, which will
did.
be a boost. He was leading the NFL in receiving
Yes.
before he went down. So, and Boompa has a quality backup if for some reason he doesn't want to play Josh Allen. Brock Purdy's going to give him points, especially now that CMC's back.
My hot prediction
Oh, I can't wait.
is that Boompa won't make it to the championship this year.
He didn't last year.
That's just a hot prediction.
I don't feel like that's too
I feel
hot
like
of a
people are
prediction.
expecting him and Ross to be in the championship, unless it's not going to
Yeah,
be possible with the seedings. But
right now, Ross is 8-2. Boompa, Mark, and I are 6-4. You're 5-5, and Sam is 4-6, and then there's Benton, 1-9. So like between second place and seventh place, there's only 2 games in between.
yeah,
There's a chance that Boompa doesn't even make playoffs.
I guess that's true.
Um,
I guess I wouldn't put it that far for myself as a prediction that he won't make playoffs, but I'm saying it now.
that
you
you're saying
won't
no
see-
championship.
You won't see him in the championship.
Okay. Well,
If I know my audience, I know they love a good hot take from Luke. What are
Yeah.
you looking at?
Oh, idiot. Okay, so are we doing me next?
Yeah.
All right, so I got to win because I went against Sam. I scored the second lowest amount of points this week. Sam scored the lowest. So that is truly the only reason I got to win this week. Joe Burrow showed up. I had some average play from Kamara, CMC, and St. Brown, who looked really bad until he scored that, like the last 2 drives of that Lions game. And I just really feel like my team is a 120-point team. Don't expect much more, and there's a chance they'll score less.
Looking at Sam's team, it must have hurt double for Sam to watch the Minnesota game because Darnold is his starting quarterback.
Yes.
And obviously he did not throw any touchdowns, and he got 6.4 points. So, I mean, it was the ugliest game I've seen Minnesota play in a while. And then just to watch that and realize, like, oh, I'm going to lose because Sam Darnold isn't getting more than 10 points this week.
Yep. And I mean,
He had one other guy that really didn't perform, and it's DJ Moore.
yep.
That's it.
Yep.
And Will Lutz, of course, got him 0 points as
Yep.
well. But still, like,
And
that's a sucky loss for Sam.
He continues to have to play Tyreek in the same way that you feel like you need to play Brees. As in, ESPN says he's going to score probably 15, 16, 17, maybe even up to 20 points a week. So you're like, he's got to be played. You can't put him on the bench. Tyreek hasn't scored more than... I saw a stat where he hasn't scored a touchdown since week 1, I think.
Yeah, when he got arrested or whatever it was.
Yes.
I'm sure they were going against the Rams too. So I'm
Yeah.
sure Sam. I get in this trap all the time with Brees Hall. It's like not only is he projected 17 to 20 points, but the matchup stat is like, oh snap! Like the Rams are like 23rd or 22nd in like pass yards. So I can't not play him because they're expecting maybe a likelier chance of a boom here.
So did you also catch? I don't know if you watched the Monday night game. Tyreek Hill has like something wrong in like a ligament in his hand
No, I didn't catch
or
that.
wrist. Yeah. So that could also be part of the down slump Tyreek has
boy.
seen this year. Poor Sam. Not really, but kind of.
Yeah, there's one person that we can call poor, and we'll go to our matchup.
Poor Benton. He finished he was less than 1 point from getting another unlucky loss, may I add. Really let down by Jaden Daniels. I mean, his quarterback scoring 8 points obviously hurts. Kind of a wash with Baker also scoring only 8 points. But Benton was let down not only by Jaden Daniels, but by another bad quarterback play that we mentioned, Sam Darnold. So Justin Jefferson only scoring 9 points.
Not even finding the end zone.
Yeah, that's tough.
Going into Monday night, it was Cooper Kupp. He needed 26 points, and they put him at, I think, an 8% chance of doing that.
Which
honestly is...
Yeah. I mean, Cooper Kupp easily could have gotten it for him.
I definitely felt like I was going to be better off, and then the New York Jets game kind of made me not feel that way.
The Jets are bad. I don't
don't
know how
I don't get how they have so many good players.
What are you supposed to do? And you're always faced with, okay, Brees, like this week, Brees was projected 18 points, Garrett Wilson 17 and a half. Combined, they produced 21 points.
Yeah, right. That's half of what.
Yes. And so, but like, you see that projection number, and it's hard to say, no, you're wrong.
It's hard to say, yeah, you know what? I'm going to start Cortland Sutton against the Chiefs.
Right.
And then he goes off. Or Tyrone Tracy.
Yes. What are you, like, and part of that is, as Boompa mentioned in the text, like, you don't want to have the FOMO of, okay, this is finally Garrett Wilson's game. This is finally Breece Hall's game.
This is finally the week that Breece Hall gets 30 points, and it's just like he's sitting on my bench.
Think of how good it will feel if you were to say,
I'm going to sit him this week.
Yes.
And I'm justified in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
and
I
like,
should.
Think of like how good you'll feel if Cortland Sutton goes off more than Garrett Wilson. Like, yeah.
Like, you know what? I was a manager, not a mismanager.
Yes.
Yeah, I would feel that way. It's never going to happen. But I would feel that way.
You're a slave to the projections?
Yes, I am kind of.
Yeah.
I always have been. It's hard to get over it.
It's hard to get over it. You don't want to be dumb.
With this win though, I feel like I'm like gaining momentum, and I feel like I'm ready to put myself back in the contender box.
Okay.
And I don't know, it's probably false hope, but I'm feeling formidable now.
Okay.
You sound doubtful about that.
I don't know. I think you could.
All right. Well, let's move on to my weekly awards anyway.
Love them.
We do have to. The title of the episode, of course, is Griddy Secured. Congratulations, Ross M. Miltimore. You have won the Seasonal Griddy Award, and the season is not even over. Nobody can beat you at this point. You have won the Griddy. That would be, let's see, 1, 2, 3. You've won the Griddy 7 times now.
That's incredible.
That is amazing, which obviously is a preview of how your wins against all percentage is going to be. But you've won the Griddy 7 times. Only Jacob, David, and I have won the Griddy a single time each. So we cannot win out the rest of the season with the Griddy and beat you.
You know, but winning the Griddy is kind of like, I don't know, winning an individual accolade. It doesn't really mean much unless if you secure the trophy. So obviously,
it's true. Trophy secured would be much better than Griddy secured.
Right.
But at least he has something to walk away from the season with.
For sure.
If he fails, he will at least be able to point to the Seasonal Griddy Award.
Fantasy football is a tricky game, and you just never know when bad luck is going to strike. Maybe all season. Maybe it's the championship game.
Oh, man. Maybe it's DeMar Hamlin
I was
hit
about
in
to
the
bring
chest.
it. Yep.
Ross, Jamar Chase brought you to your Seasonal Griddy Award.
Way to go.
Congratulations. Let's go to the Miss Manager Award. Oh, I've got awards here. Yeah, that was supposed to be Ross. But my Miss Manager Award is going to go to Benton this week.
Benton, you win something.
That's so demeaning. That is just absolutely demoralizing.
I've talked to Benton. He knows how unlucky he is.
So, Benton, you're going to win it this week because of you didn't start your boyfriend, Mark Andrews, who had 18 points over Evan Engram, who had 10. If you combine that with the George Pickens start instead of... Now, you would never realistically do this. You would never start George Pickens over Justin Jefferson.
No.
But he scored twice the amount of points. So if you would have done both those things, you would have beat me. You're the Mismanager of the week. There were a lot of really bad benches across the league this week. Really bad.
I felt like scoring in general, unless if you had some of that Thursday night game, scoring in general was pretty low this week.
The best bench other than Benton's was actually Mark's.
Okay.
He had Kyler Murray, who had 28 points on his bench. So, but Benton, you get the Mismanager Award this week because it could have helped you to a win. So, congratulations on that.
Okay. Waiver winner.
Okay, you were saying we were having a discussion.
I said this should have been a push, but we all know Luke.
Oh, get out of here!
And we all know when in doubt, award it to himself, right?
Woohoo!
So, of course, Luke awards it to himself.
Come on. Okay. Of all the pickups this last week, there were 2 that actually produced. And, of course, yes, I didn't start them. Tyrone Tracy and Cortland Sutton.
Are you starting them this week?
I might. I've got to look at matchups. I haven't looked at matchups
I
yet.
just feel like you're just...
Okay, even if it's only for the security of having a guy in case of injury, that's kind of been my MO this whole season. You know, I had the Zach Moss, I had the Jerome Ford. Both those guys are non-factors anymore.
Okay.
So I needed some guys to replace. And yes, I have injuries on my bench that maybe I could be dropping instead. But I'm giving myself the waiver winner award.
Okay.
Nobody else picked up anybody worth their salt.
No.
So,
And even this as... Oh, wait, we got Mr. Unlimited.
yeah, Mr. Unlimited. Who's that going to this week?
Me.
Yes, it is. It's going to you.
Kind of weak. Just a weak. It was, as Luke calls my team, anemic showing from my team. And he thought that really encapsulated Russell Wilson somehow getting the win while kind of looking a little
I also had
subpar.
Okay, you've got Mike Williams.
Okay, Benton has George Pickens.
No. Mike Williams catches a huge touchdown catch.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the commentators were like, "Oh, look at Williams, he's back. He's in Pittsburgh. Let's go." He had one catch the whole game. 9 snaps. He played 9 snaps.
He played 9 snaps, caught 1 ball, scored 10 points this week.
Yep.
I'm not going to lie, I actually am considering to start him this week, but
I hope you do.
If he's only playing 30% of the snaps, I can't start him.
Right.
So
you win Mr. Unlimited this week. Congratulations on
right.
that.
Not a lot of movement on the waiver wires. Do have to call out you for dropping your first round pick, Chris Olave, for Bo Nix as your spot start quarterback while Baker's on bye.
That is, yes, only. I'm surprised by this, actually, that is only the second first-round pick of our draft to be dropped. Everybody else is still on the team that they were drafted on.
Ideally, your first-round pick is an every week starter.
With our keepers, though.
Yes, I would still argue that if you're picking someone with the first round, it should be a starter every week.
Absolutely. I'm just surprised by injuries and all of that there's
Fair.
nothing. Because obviously I dropped Sam dropped Pittman back
September
on
25th.
September 25th, his birthday.
Yeah.
Sam dropped Pittman because Pittman sucks. I dropped Olave because, well, the situation in New Orleans now sucks. Olave kind of sucks, and he's injured. So
Carr is back, though.
It has sucked for the past weeks then, and now Olave's injured when it's just about to be getting better, if it will be getting better.
Okay.
So.
And then the only other offensive player getting moved is I dropped Javonte Williams for David Njoku. Just putting more.
Javonte Williams has been a journeyman in this league. He was offered me right away after the draft. He was offered me for Keon Coleman.
That's right.
Yes. Because Boompa really wanted Keon,
yes,
who has been a non-factor.
Let's see. He hasn't really been that much of a journeyman. He got drafted by the Contendas, dropped September 11th, picked up October 23rd by me, and now dropped.
Oh, that's only. I thought I've seen his name all over.
I'm sure he's at the top of the waiver list every week that everyone just
Maybe
ignores.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, because it's.
And then we also do have to mention there was a trade.
Yes. A trade that I don't quite understand. Maybe you could try to explain this.
Okay, so Sam's trading away Rashad White and Chuba Hubbard, sorry, for DeAndre Swift and Tony Pollard. I think overall it's a pretty even trade. Would you agree or disagree?
It seems pretty even. I mean, Tony Pollard has been up and down.
Rashad White has been up and down, too.
Rashad White has been up and down.
I think part of this is Sam letting go of Rashad White because
that's true.
Rashad White just bugs Sam.
He's another Tyreek Hill kind of player. Not even really.
Was Rashad White a keeper?
I think.
No, drafted second round. It was the second
Okay.
pick of the second round.
And I'm pretty sure that was a reluctant pick. Like,
Yeah.
because has Sam had Rashad White before?
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
But yeah, Rashad White, he's been up and down, and I think this is more just to like, he's another guy that's often projected, 15, 16 points and produces about 8.
Yeah.
And so this is like Sam just getting rid of the stress of having to start him. Chuba Hubbard's actually been pretty good.
Yep. He's about the only thing good going on in Carolina.
Right. DeAndre Swift and Tony Pollard probably fall right in between Rashad White and Hubbard in general. So it's probably an overall even trade. Boompa getting a slightly better player, but Sam, I think, getting rid of the stress of Rashad White.
Even looking at, Boompa is not lacking in the running back department at all. He's got Chubb, Mixon, and Derrick Henry.
Right.
So,
and I also believe part of this may be due to the fact that both Rashad White and Hubbard are on bye week, and so I don't know if this was a position of strength that Boompa was able to put this through. And again, I don't
it
even
came from Boompa to Sam.
Did it?
I think so.
Okay. And again, I don't even know who's technically getting the better deal of this trade. It just really does seem like a fairly even trade. DeAndre Swift has some sneaky upside to him.
I will say I think Sam gets the better end of this deal simply because I don't know how the trade was made, but Sam getting 2 running backs
for
a bye
backs?
week. Like avoiding the bye week that way, because otherwise who would he have had to start?
He does have Kenneth Walker coming off the bye. And then he's also got Etienne or Bigsby. So he'd probably have to dig in the pile of whatever is available on waivers. But Javonte Williams, that's probably who he'd start.
That's honestly probably who it would have been.
Yeah, but I think overall it's a pretty even trade. I think I like Boompa receiving Hubbard more than Sam receiving 2 quality players.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, pretty even trade. I couldn't tell you who actually wins it.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to see Boompa needing anybody other than who he's already got.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk about the luck standings.
Oh, yes. Luck standings. So, as mentioned, David did go -1 luck this week, and I was the benefactor of a +1 luck. So, we are currently no one is neutral luck anymore. Sam and I are +2 luck. Luke, you and Mark are +1 luck. Boompa, David, Ross all have 1 unlucky loss, and Benton down at the bottom. I know it says unlucky -3, but if you factor in some injuries in there, he's like unlucky -8.
Or as Lewis would say right now, unlucky -1 million. He's discovered $1 million as a fun word to use as emphasis.
Does he know that it's a number?
He said, "I love you 1 million." So
does he know that's a number though?
I don't quite know.
Okay, interesting.
Everything is also in 18 minutes now. I'm gonna be grown up in 18 minutes.
Okay,
it's gonna be Friday in 18 minutes.
Okay,
so,
interesting.
Yep.
Well.
And let's look at the updated wins against all.
Yes, the power rankings, the analytic power rankings. Luke, you're sneaking up there against Boompa. You're only 5 wins behind him. Ross, once again, just on top, 60 out of a possible 70 wins.
That's that seasonal Griddy right there.
Yeah. Not much change. We just see David go up 2, and David and I swap spots. Really clustered still in that 5 to 7 range.
You can see some of the luck here when Benton is above Sam by 7.
Benton is above Sam by 7 wins. He's above me, even though I'm
doing way better in the standings.
Yes. So you can kind of see how luck factors into the actual standings versus the analytic standings.
Once again, I'll just say it. I really do like this metric. This is really, it's telling is what it is.
Yes. All right. Week 11 preview.
Yeah, let's do some picks too.
Well, do you remember week 11? If you go back, to week 5, right? Week 5? No,
4?
Week 4.
Week 4.
Yes.
Yeah, week 4, because this was Ross's first loss.
Okay. If you go back to week 4, that was rivalry week.
It sure was.
And so this is rivalry week part 2. What game do you have first, Luke?
Let's talk about the Contendas versus the Rebrand.
All right. So, just as a refresher, in week 4, Contendas beat Rebrand Revenge 140 to 115. Derrick Henry scored 35 points, Nico Collins scored 33, and CD scored 23. All 3 of those were more than David's top scorer, which was Gibbs at 19 points. Obviously, a slightly different look for both teams now. David's got Puka back. Dak is done for season. So, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I know I said I think Boompa's team is going to trend down, but I don't think his team is trending down so far that he's at David's level yet.
Wow. So currently the line is 14 points in Boompa's favor. It doesn't look like there's any drastic changes that either team needs to make. I could be wrong, but there's at least no one's on bye right now. What are your thoughts? Are you taking, you said Boompa?
I think so. I mean, I didn't even see. Yeah, he has a positional advantage at every position except one running back spot, which I'm surprised by that, and that's only by 0.6 points. So I'm going to take Boompa on this. He's got a strong team with some good matchups this week. Joe Mixon going against Dallas, Nico Collins going against Dallas. Like, that could be pretty. I mean, I don't think CeeDee Lamb's going to do particularly spectacular. Derrick Henry going against Pittsburgh might be tough, but
you know what? I'm going to pick David.
Ooh, okay.
I think he's got a couple interesting matchups on his team. Gotta love Jordan Love going to Chicago. Matt LaFleur has never lost to Chicago in his tenure as Green Bay head coach. Green Bay defense he's also got, so that looks good. And then I don't like Josh Allen and Dalton Kincaid going against one of the best defenses in Kansas City.
We'll see. Boompa does have Cade Otton that he could swap in for Dalton Kincaid.
Okay.
I don't know if he likes to break up the duo, but
my big hesitation is Joe Mixon and Nico Collins going against Dallas. I mean, that defense has just been Swiss cheese. So like that was my hesitation in picking against Boompa, but I'm going to stick with my guns, pick the underdog here and go with David.
Okay. Well, I'm going to stick with mine and go say Boompa's winning this matchup.
Who you got next?
Let's see. Who is our next matchup? Okay. Oh, we've got me versus Sam. Idiot versus the Romness.
Battle of the Brothers. So, do you know who won? Oh, of course you know. This was a famous week.
This was the famous week. This was the week Sam and I were both 0-3 heading into week 4. I made a deal on the podcast that whoever would lose would have to rebrand.
Do you remember what happened? I believe I have it up. So the final score was 119 to 102. And for Sam, let's see. Where is it? Kenneth Walker scores 33 points.
That's right.
Was that
Walker.
Monday night?
I think it was a Monday night game.
Yeah.
Because I was watching it go down. I had DK Metcalf in that game.
Yes.
And he, got 5 points?
No, DK got 15.
Oh, he got 15. Okay, just not enough to outscore.
Basically, you guys must have been pretty close heading into Monday night. And Kenneth Walker just blew the game open for Sam. So, with that said, I'm assuming you're taking yourself?
Oh, absolutely. I didn't take myself last time, did I? Wait, no, I did.
No,
I did. So this was obviously the week that I lost and had to change my name. I'm not saying there will be a rebrand if I win, but it would be poetic.
If you win?
This would be my transformation. This would be my ascension from the depths of idiocy.
You'll become a butterfly.
I might become the butterfly, the idiot butterfly.
So, I'm assuming Sam's going to make a couple changes. I don't see him sticking with Sam Darnold after his last couple weeks. I don't know if you can trust Sam Darnold. And then I'm assuming that Kenneth Walker is going to be subbed in as well.
He better. I mean, this is a matchup where Kenneth Walker apparently likes to come out and play.
Plus, you just never know. Sam might want to have a little heartbreak and sub in Kyle Pitts. You just never know. So overall, like right now the point spread has you in favor by 28 points.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's going to be lower, but I've said it once, I've said it again. I'll say it again. Sam's team is just a lot of middling, underperforming players this year. So I'm going to go with you.
Oh, that's surprising, but I will take the vote of confidence.
I will say this is a must-win for both teams in relation to their playoff positioning.
Yes, I would love this win. I really would.
You need a win to kind of keep pace with those teams above you. I think if Sam loses, it will be really tough for him to make playoffs.
Yeah, he'd almost have to win out.
Yeah.
In relation to everybody else too.
Yes.
So
yes.
just the right people losing at the right times for him.
Yep.
Okay, what's our next matchup that we have there?
I got Wiz versus the Boom.
Wiz versus the Boom. Oh yes.
Now, looking back at this, do you know what the final score was here?
What was it?
111.7 to 110.8.
Whoa, you're kidding.
Wiz wins.
That's right. It was the Christmas Miracle.
It was a Christmas miracle.
Who was the player that?
Jaden Reed scores 27 against Minnesota. Kyron Williams scores 20. I mean, the Steelers' defense for Ross only scored 1 point.
That's right.
Like overall, it's not like Ross had necessarily a down week. This was like the first. Was this the first loss for Ross? I believe
it was the first loss.
Yeah, it was the first time Ross's team just didn't go crazy. I mean, Saquon and Jalen Hurts only combined for 29 that week.
This was, wouldn't it be something?
Wouldn't it be something
if the Wiz beat the Boom?
If the Wiz beat the Boom.
And he did, and he won.
And looking at the point spread this week, Ross is only favored by 4 points.
That is crazy.
Yeah. And I also...
How? Wow, Mark's team is actually really good.
Yes. I've been saying it. He is good. I will say that Ross has one of the few quarterbacks that can go toe-to-toe with Lamar Jackson, though.
That's true. And Washington's a pretty good team.
Do you know what we also called this matchup when we introduced Rivalry Week 1?
Yes.
The historically middling Miltimore game.
Yeah.
And both of them have very much elevated their team this season.
They've evolved.
Yes.
Into forces hitherto unknown, Ross is just absolutely dominating the league right now, and Mark is sneaky good. And so this could be the year I would kill to see a Wiz versus the Boom in the championship, and wouldn't it be something?
Wouldn't it be something?
Wouldn't it be something if the Wiz actually beat the Boom in the championship? That would be, I would be like watching that like a hawk.
That would be something.
That would be something to watch that.
So who are you picking this week, though?
Oh, it's tough. It's really, really tough to say like Ross is going to lose. But just out of hope that he does, I think I'm going to
You should be rooting
Mark
for Ross in
win.
this one, just in terms of playoffs.
In terms of playoffs, so looking at it, though.
What are you thinking?
This could, I don't know.
It could go either way.
It really could.
I mean, there's a reason they're projected close.
Brock Bowers is going up against a tough defense in Miami.
Yeah.
That's about all I've got on it.
So,
he's got 3 people going against Washington.
Well,
so depending on how that game goes,
that's him every week.
I know.
He rises and falls with the Eagles.
It's true.
So I'll say I really like a couple players on Mark's team. Obviously, the Boom just feels unbeatable at times. I'm gonna go with Ross, and I think between his kicker and his defense, it's gonna be hard for Ross is good from quarterback all the way to kicker if you're looking at the team.
It's true.
And so that's just going to be hard. As much as I love Lamar and I love the Wiz, I think the player to watch on Mark's team this week is actually the Hawk, TJ Hawkinson. I see him doing well this year or this week. So But I'm gonna pick Ross. Sorry, Wiz.
Well, the pick is in. I'm supporting the Wiz.
For the first time ever, I'm picking against him.
You are picking against him. That'll be probably I'm going to call that game of the week.
I think that's game of the week.
That's game of the week for sure in terms of how is this end game going to shape up in our league.
Yep. All right, last game for this week, we have myself, Trust and Repeat versus the Frayne Train. Benton has officially been eliminated from playoff contention.
He is.
So now he is full playoff spoiler. Unsure what that means in terms of whether he's open for trade for picks / future talent.
Yes, remember you can trade for draft picks, but it does have to be somewhere in the group chat or in writing or something.
Yes, yep. Looking back at week 4, this was my Griddy award-winning week. I scored 160 to Benton's 100. And that was with my quarterback scoring less than 10 points.
Wow.
Yeah, I had 20 points for every player. I had 20 points across the board except for quarterback, tight end, and kicker. So, with that said, I'm obviously taking me. I'm actually a 6-point favorite in this. So
only 6 points is
Benton's team is good. Like that's the thing is Benton's team is actually good, especially with Zach Moss out. James Cook and Chase Brown are a really good running back tandem.
I'm going to, not because looking at the matchup, okay, there are 2 things on Benton's team this week that I really like for him. JJ at Tennessee, Cooper Kupp at New England.
Hot take, okay.
I think both of those have the potential to be highly productive weeks for both of them.
Can you tell me who cornerback 1 is from either team that they're facing?
Cornerback 1 at Tennessee. Cornerback.
Yeah.
I can't tell you Tennessee.
L'Jarius Sneed.
Okay, L'Jarius Sneed. Yeah, sure, he's good. Cooper Kupp facing New England. Trayvon Diggs.
Christian Gonzalez.
I don't know these guys.
He's a second-year player who's actually pretty good.
Trayvon Diggs is on what team?
Dallas.
I knew it was one of those teams.
Have you seen that? Maybe this is me getting trolled by some random article I'm seeing. I'm pretty sure that results came out that Trayvon Diggs has an IQ of 59.
I did see that. It's
okay.
a meme. It's a meme.
Oh, that's not real.
It was the sports memery.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
No, it was, yes, I saw that. That was just a meme. So with that being said, you're going to take yourself.
Yeah.
I'm going to support the underdog here.
All right.
And I'm going to just be the contradictarian. I don't know if that's a thing.
Sounds good.
Contrarian. That's what it is. And I'm going to pick Benton to win this week.
All right.
Any final thoughts on the state of football or fantasy?
Yeah, I think so. Just a reminder to everyone that our trade deadline is in 2 weeks from today, which I think there could be some trades that go through in the next 2 weeks.
Trade deadline is interesting because we do have the trade window open before the season as well.
Right. But
so this is for people going into the playoffs. That's their
Yes.
Really
so
what it matters
yes, the
for.
trade deadline, the trade window is open prior to the draft to maneuver for draft picks and keepers. Yeah. Yes. But for those teams that want to kind of go all in and trade picks now for a possible difference maker, we'll see what happens, right?
It's really
what's going through your mind?
What's going through my mind is like I'm at this position where it's like I'm probably the guy who needs to do that, who's just like throw away maybe next year for a run this year.
I would argue the first round pick has a lot of allure to it.
It does have allure,
but your first round pick sucked this year.
Chris Olave?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well,
so why don't you trade that away for something good?
That's true.
That's what I'm saying.
Something good now.
Yeah.
But if I have more than 3 great players, I only get to keep 3 great players. But then I can trade for picks in the preseason. Oh, this is all becoming so good.
All right. We'll see what Luke does with his picks. We'll see what everyone does in the next 2 weeks in regards to trades.
Before we go, I have one fun fact that pertains to Benton. I think it's Benton's team.
Oh.
Benton and David's team.
Okay.
this is the only time I'll be able to say this with confidence because I know that this is the case. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, there was a lot of talk about who's it going to be. At this point in the season, they both have 122 carries exactly on the season.
What about touches in terms of receptions?
I don't know about that.
But I
But
would
in terms
say,
of carries, that is. So it's just interesting how that is shaped up. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is still obviously probably leading in receptions as well, like touches. I think he's been the more productive player as well. So, but just an interesting fun fact that I wanted to share. I wanted to share it this week because I just seen it today and didn't find a good time to do so. So that's what we're ending on. So
all right.
With Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, I wish you all the best, and we'll see you later.